What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to another Sports Talk and Tap video. We're here. You can find daily videos Monday through Friday covering all the four major sports leagues, whether that be NHL, MLB, NBA, or NFL, games, news, highlights, all that fun stuff. We're here to talk. In our MLB segment, Nick, it's only fair we start with, the games that happened to wrap up the midday series this week, and then kind of, whatever series may end today or start for the weekend. With that being said, we'll, I guess, first start off with my team. Start off on the high note. The Minnesota Twins, my Twins, get the job done in surprise fashion. Kind of used a bullpen to start game, and then David Festa went like 4 2/3 innings, gave up only, I believe, like one run. And you'll take that basically against the Phillies on a bullpen day. However, it got ugly then because, the bullpen decided Caleb Thielbar struggled. Twins let up 3 runs, so they went down 4-1. But bottom of the 7th, Max Kepler is able to, reach into a fielder's choice, get an RBI, and then Carlos Santana with 2 outs comes through with a huge hit to make it 4-4 on a 2-run double or 2-out double as well. So we're tied at 4. Johan Duran shuts down the 9th, so he has a bounce back game from the game before where it was a pitcher's duel until the 9th, tied at 0, and he lets up a couple of runs. He bounces back 1, 2, 3, head to the bottom of the 9th, and the Twins pull it off after, I believe it was Gregory Soto, just couldn't find the strike zone. And Max Kepler is able to hit an infield single where Larnach scores. So the Twins take the series against Philly, the Phillies' best team in baseball, despite not having Jose Miranda, Carlos Correa, Royce Lewis, who were all expected, especially I think Royce and Miranda, to return soon, as Royce Lewis is back in St. Paul for a minor league stint. So not only that do you take the series 2 out of 3, but against their best pitchers, Ranger Suarez, you beat him. Zach Wheeler, they unfortunately couldn't hit him, but they still had a chance to win that game at the end just due to their Twins' good pitching as well. And they're able to beat Aaron Nola, even though Aaron Nola obviously was in line for the win. Just able to beat their 3 best pitchers, beat the bullpen, take 2 out of 3 despite all the injuries, and then now you get to play a division series against Detroit. That's a lot more winnable. So hopefully, they can at least win 2 out of 3, or hopefully win 2 out of 3. I don't expect sweeps, but definitely a series win I was expecting. And Nick, when we talked on Monday, talking about the series after losing 2 games to the Brewers, I was kind of nervous just with all the injuries that this was a potential sweep. But they win 2 out of 3, and to come back yesterday down 4-1, special. Especially in such a tight wild card race where there's no room for error. Just, man, shout out the Twins for this one. This one has my heart.
Yep. Congratulations to the Twins. They're staying ahead of this wild card race.
Yeah, you can't even think about the Twins because you're so disgusted looking at that scoreboard at the game we'll be getting into next.
Yeah. Shout out to the Twins. They're doing their job of staying ahead of the race, staying ahead of the wild card race. But speaking of teams that aren't doing that, the Boston Red Sox put on probably the most embarrassing performance of the season, pitching-wise at least. Hitting-wise, 11 hits, 7 runs is fine. That should win you most ball games.
4 errors. How does that happen?
4 errors. Yeah. No, there was no good sign on defense for this team. Trust me. I watched.
I hope you didn't have to watch this.
I watched into the 6th inning, which is you can see this. You can see this line score where I think it was every inning. Nick Pivetta might have been his worst outing of his career, where he was just serving up, get me over balls, giving up double homer, double single, double. It was awful. And if this isn't a sign that, 1, the Red Sox pitching staff needs to wake the F up, and 2, the Red Sox pitching staff needs help both in the bullpen and in the starting rotation, I don't know what is. Because when you're losing to a team like Colorado, who, as you can see the record, they're 38-65. They have no business beating you, and yet they beat the piss out of you this series. I know you won 1 game. Congratulations. You took 1 out of 3 against Colorado, but and now you have the Yankees coming up on Friday. Like, you can't play this way against the Yankees. as bad as the Yankees are going right now, they're going to beat your ass if you pitch like this against them. Soto and Judge are going to hit like 5 home runs each in this series if these pitchers stay like this. So
it will be such a Red Sox thing to bounce back though and probably win 2 out of 3 after getting demolished by the Rockies.
I hope these Red Sox pitchers are fired up as much as I am about this, because this whole West Coast trip was an absolute joke. Ever since the All-Star break, they've looked terrible. There hasn't been one bright spot. The bright spot was Cooper Criswell the other night. Like, he's a guy who's, bounced between the minors and the majors all season long. He's a filler. He's a fill-in starter. And he put on the best pitching performance of the week/weekend, whatever you want to call it. But it's embarrassing. A team that's in playoff contention was in the playoff race or in the playoffs going into the All-Star break is now, I believe, 2 games out, unless
I think the Royals may have lost. So I think they're 1 out of the Royals. When I looked at the schedule, though, and decided Twins, Phillies 3 best pitchers, and Red Sox, Rockies, I really thought the Red Sox were going to leap us, but I think we were able to make up a game or 2. So now we're like a little bit separate. I don't know. Yeah. It's just all very, congested, though.
Twins gained ground because the Red Sox are only 5 games over 500. Twins are 11. So
yeah, so we're like a couple of games up on the Red Sox. But like I said, Red Sox, Yankees. We'll probably get into that later on tomorrow's episode as we preview the weekend series. But yeah, that'll be huge. Anything else that happened? The Guardians squeaked by, and then the Mets take the Subway Series.
They swept it. They won both games. Geez. They won both their home games and then both games at Yankee Stadium. So they won all 4 games this year, which is pretty wild. So
we got to talk about the
dangerous. And they beat up
the Yankees.
What's up?
We're gonna have to have a talk about the Yankees sooner rather than later.
I can't say a word about them right now because the Red Sox are like in their worst run of the year. So I'm not going to say a word about the Yankees. As rough as they're going, they're still staying ahead of the Red Sox in this race. If the Red Sox literally went 500 on this road trip, which I would have been probably annoyed with, but at the same time, you're okay with that, they'd be like a game or 2 behind the Yankees, which is just, it's so annoying to think about because you could have helped yourself so much in this playoff race, and instead you just wet the bed. Every pitcher looked awful. No competitive starts. It was just a joke.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you there. I'd be frustrated too. And then shout out the Diamondbacks. They're getting a little bit hotter. They were kind of my team to, bounce back, and they beat a division rival, Royals, so never hurts gaining a game there. Padres offense continues to kind of be electric over the last couple of weeks. The Rangers kind of cooking up a little 4-game win streak now with Evaldi, of course, getting the dub. So are the Rangers going to be a team that, continues to – although given it is the White Sox that the winning streak is happening with. But, any momentum before the trade deadline approaches, will they be dealing anyone or no? That kind of remains a question. And then
Orioles
Astros
staying just as cold as the Yankees. Everybody in the AL East is going back.
It's weird. Yeah, the AL East, they're all hot together. They're all cold together, but really hasn't changed any ground. So the Marlins take that. I believe take the series. So, that's a little bit concerning. But with that being said, it should be very interesting as we approach the home stretch now. But the Guardians officially take back the American League top seed.
Yeah. And one thing I do want to bring up real quick, it was the one lone highlight of this weekend, as outside from the Red Sox 1 win, I guess you could say, but I don't really care about that when you lose 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 6. I don't care. But one of the biggest signings of the year, the Red Sox retained Alex Cora for 3 years, making him the 2nd highest paid manager in baseball, which is,
Who's the highest paid?
That I do not know. I could probably look it up. It might be Aaron Boone. Just because, it's the Yankees. But the fact that they're able to keep Cora around, it, says a lot about the management. I think it's kind of showing the fans that they're more so ready to win now, which is what you want. Alex Cora kind of, in like the articles I've read, he kind of, those are his 2 two of his demands were he wants his family to, be secure. So he wanted the money, but then he also wanted to win. He didn't want to be here just to, help them tank. And so the fact that they're able to get this done shows that they're on board with him. I think he's, at least a top 5 manager in the league, because for this year and even the last few years when the Red Sox finished last in the division, they had no business winning, 75, almost 80 games with the teams they put together. And I think that's largely due to Alex Cora. So big shout out to Craig Breslow. This might be my first, tip of the cap way to keep this guy around. I know they signed some of their few young guys like Bayo and Rafaela, but this was one of the ones you had to get done because Alex Cora easily could have been the highest paid manager, in my opinion. If he went to a team like the Phillies, if you give Alex Cora a team like the Phillies, they are a dangerous team. So shout out to him. And I looked it up, and I believe it's Craig Counsell is the highest paid manager now.
Is he still with the Brewers?
No, he's with the Cubs now.
Yeah.
So
I thought he left, but he was always good with the Brewers. So that's fine. But with that being said, maybe there's a chance they can still rip that up after yesterday's game. But shout out Alex Cora, get that bag, Twin. As they now look to approach the home stretch run. Although maybe they got a discount price, but I'm always these mid-season signings. I'm always like he deserves it, but I'm always a little freaked out because we've seen so many times where a player gets a bag or a coach or something gets a bag mid-season, then they kind of like enter a little bit of a slump. So hopefully that's not the case here. They got a little too comfortable, but the Red Sox are still in the midst of a playoff push that probably no one expected them to be as we kind of approach the last week of July. So that's already a win inside of itself as we enter the home stretch. But obviously, Nick, big weekend series coming up against the Yankees. We'll be here to talk about it. We'll be here to recap it as we approach the weekend. With that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. As always, if you enjoy this kind of content, we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.